Okay. Still don't know if I like my hair in a ponytail or not. But I can't find my headband. On my little board thing. My little fork out. The 11th of the 6th. 1/6. It's not Panasonic anymore, it's Canon. No, it's Nikon. It's not Canon. Just like my ships. Let's do this snapboard thing. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's not gonna focus. Aha! Focus! Hello everyone, and welcome to a different angle of my bedroom because I am filming with a different camera instead of my little handheld Panasonic thing that I would stick on my desk. I have like a proper tripod and everything. Only problem is I can't ever tell if it's like on me and focus and stuff because the little like box thing that shows you the image doesn't flip around so I can see it, so I need to use the mirror. So I'm not sitting in front of my bookcase anymore, I'm sitting in front of my desk, which has books on top of it because I just ran out of room. And yes, this is indeed a new Harry Potter shirt. If you've seen my fandom merch, you know that I have like 10 shirts already. This is another one that I got like 2 days ago because why not? And it's winter here, so 3/4 sleeved. I mean, it works. So yeah, different angle, new camera, new Harry Potter shirt, and let's talk about book video. Let's talk about a particular book video. I wasn't going to do this video next. I wanted to do a video of like how I got into fandoms, but then I read this book, which I actually read in freaking April, so I'm filming this very late, but I wanted to talk about it. The book I'm talking about is We Will Eyes by Lockhart. It's only a small book, it's not that big. I read it out at dinner. Like we'd gone to like a proper like a restaurant place to have dinner for, I don't know if it was someone's birthday or not. It was a bunch of family friends and I just took the book and I just started reading it, and the next thing I know I'm up to there. So the beginning of this video is going to be as spoiler free as I can possibly make it because I believe, especially with this book, like I'm not someone who really cares if I get spoiled. That's something that I'm not like overly invested in, but this book you kind of need to go in completely blind, otherwise it won't be the same. So the beginning bit is going to be as spoiler free as possible, and then the end I'm going to just have a breakdown and talk about this book in as much intimate detail as I want. When I finish a book, I go back through and I reread my favourite bits to just go over it because I just loved it. I didn't do that with this book. Not because I didn't love it, because I didn't feel the need to relive this story. So the so-called protagonist of this story is a girl called Katie, or is it Caddy? Could be Katie, like in Mean Girls. This is me looking for her name. Oh, it's Cadence. It's about her family, the Sinclairs, and they go to this island every year, I believe, for like an annual family trip. And there's these 3 cousins plus the little extra called Gat, who is, the simplest way I can put it is he's kind of like adopted, not adopted. Like he's emotionally adopted but not physically, and so like he goes to the island every year with the family. Cadence, Johnny, Mirren and Gat, they call themselves the Liars, and they just kind of essentially they just kind of form a really close friendship, and they just kind of do stuff together on the island and band together and become the bestest friends out there. And at first I was like, this is going to be really stupid, and I didn't like Cadence. I thought she was really annoying, and she, like, the Sinclairs are a very rich, pretentious family, and I'm like, she's just, you know, a girl who has so much privilege and just wallows in her own misery. Like, yeah, this is the worst thing that's happened to you, but like, chill. It's not all about you. But then she kind of grew on me, and I kind of understood, and she had been in an accident, and like her memory was kind of all over the place, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let her have her little bitch bitchy attitude, because it's realistic. She is a realistic character, and I liked that. I thought We Were Liars was intriguing, suspenseful, and creative. I knew there was something being hidden from Cadence, and because it's written in first person, we only know what she knows, and everyone is keeping a secret from her about what happened to her last time she was on the island, and I wanted to know what it was, and I kept hinting at it, just little hints that I just didn't understand, because she didn't understand, and I wanted to know what they were keeping from her. It pissed me off, and then you find out in the end, and it's like, oh crap, yeah, okay. Fair enough. I just want to say right now that I really loved the ending. I didn't finish it and go, oh, I don't like that ending. It was a bittersweet, satisfying ending. I finished it and I was like, yeah, okay. I kind of just sat there and I was just like, and my mum came in and she started talking to me about something, and I was just kind of like I just finished a book with the most shocking and heartbreaking ending, but satisfying. My mum was kind of like, what? And I explained to her what happened, and she was like, right. And just kind of like bolted out of the room. I wrote that because it was a satisfying ending, I didn't need more, and I didn't want it to end any differently. And there are little times in books that are so heartbreaking, you want them to end differently. You want them to have their happy ending. And with this book, I was happy with the ending. I didn't think it needed to be different. Like I said, it was bittersweet, and I don't feel like there should be more. The world that we were in was the world of the island, not necessarily the Sinclair family. So, don't necessarily become attached to the family, but the memories of the island. And I feel like the way that it ended, you didn't need more island time. You just didn't. What I actually wrote was that it was a fulfilling ending. And I still agree with that, because it was such a satisfying and fulfilling ending, and it's just like, I accept what you wrote, E. Lockhart, and I will keep it dear to me, but I don't need to know anything else about the Sinclair family. In the 3 hours it took me to read this book, E. Lockhart managed to get under my skin, warm my heart, and then shatter it. It was the most heart-wrenching, beautiful story that I've read in a long time. And it was probably I haven't been reading a lot this year, simply for the fact that I've just been too busy. I've had university, and I've had rehearsals for a play that I'm in, and I've just had so much stuff. And this was like one of the first books I picked up. It made me remember how much I loved reading. A book that I had no knowledge of. It was just a book that I picked up and loved. I absolutely detested the writing style. It was so frustrating. But I stuck with it because I loved the story. So if you pick it up and you're like, I hate the way it's written, just bear with it until you get into the story more, because then you'll be too entangled in the story to let go. Yeah, I always got confused between what summers it was, because she was like, it's summer 12, in summer 15 this happened, in summer 17 this happened. And summer 15 and 17, because they skipped 16, I think, summer 15 and 17, I kept getting confused as to which one she was talking about. I'm like, are you talking about you and Gat in summer 17 or in summer 15? Are you talking about what happened the year of the accident or now? Each time it jumped in the timeline, it wasn't like summer 15, summer 17, not necessarily. Sometimes it just referenced it, and I was like, wait, are you remembering or are you reliving? Like, what am I reading here? I just kept getting so lost, and I was so confused, but it all kind of made sense as you kept going. I just kind of trudged through until it made more sense. And there was also a bunch of mini stories. I completely forgot about them, except for what I just wrote in my notes. She wrote these mini stories about princesses and kings, and like not necessarily having happy endings. And I really liked reading them in between. Alright, I'm going to talk about the characters now and the story arc a bit more, and I will be spoiling the ending. So if you haven't read it, this is the time of the video that you pause it, go read it, and then when you finish, you can come back. I seriously think you'll have such a better experience with this book if you go in blind. I feel like knowing will ruin it. So the characters, Johnny, Gat, Cadence and Mirren, were so realistic because they just piss me off, but they piss me off because they do things that teenagers do. Ah! Oh. I teleported. And my clothes have changed. And my hair's been washed. Wasn't I just in the middle of talking about something? Oh yeah, I remember I did an entire video on We Were Liars, and then I found out my camera only recorded 20 minutes of that. So, I'm just going to pick up right where I left off, which I believe I was about to start talking about characters. So you've already been watching this video, so you already know what it's about. For me, I need to get back in the groove of talking about We Were Liars. But now you can see my beautiful bookcase behind me, isn't that nice? And I cleaned it all off just for you. It's really messy down the bottom, but that's not important. This is take 2 because it's the second day, so it's now the 13th. We Were Liars, take 2, naked, Nerdtroverts, my house. Let's try this again. So I am back to talk about characters that I didn't get around to talking about last time I filmed. Something I really loved about the characters in this book was that they were very realistic, and sometimes the fact that they were realistic meant that I didn't like them, that I thought they were very annoying because they just did things that teenagers do, that I do, that people that I know do, but I don't really like a lot of people my age. I don't really like a lot of people, full stop. And so they were so realistic that they were the kind of people that you disliked. As I was saying, the characters are just so realistic. Like, they were written with flaws, very obvious, very frustrating flaws. They were not perfect. They didn't handle situations perfectly. They didn't come up with the best ideas all the time. Like, this is a massive spoiler, by the way, so if you still haven't read the book and you're still hanging on, what are you doing here? Because this is the biggest spoiler. This is like the ending. Anyway, they had really bad ideas. They, jumped off cliffs and idiotic things like that, but they thought, and this is an idea that would probably make perfect sense to slightly tipsy, completely drunk teenagers whose family's falling apart. But if we burn down the house that seems to be tearing their family apart, everyone will unite. This is the idea that these people have, and they're like, yeah, this works, this will work. Like, they have really bad ideas, but they don't stop in time for them to realise that it is a bad idea.
Like, they go through with this bad idea, and they don't get to live happily ever after. 3 out of 4 of them die. 2 dogs burn to death. Like, they have bad ideas, and they follow through with them, and then the one left standing has to deal with the consequences. And it's like, this is what made the story so raw and so interesting and intriguing and realistic. It's what drew me in, was the fact that they wrote the characters with flaws. But the flaws weren't solved by the end. They didn't become better people. I mean, yet Cadence had to kind of step up and be like, I killed 3 best friends by setting the fire too early. I killed 2 dogs. And she has to deal with that for the rest of her life. So yeah, she's a changed person. She's not going to be the same as she was back when she was with the other liars. But she's still going to have her flaws. And it was such a great ending because she's finally just realised, I killed my best friends. I actually lit the match that burnt them alive. I killed them. And even though I cannot personally say that I've ever burnt my 3 friends alive, the way that she deals with it, it's not perfect. And the trauma that she gets because of it that prevents her from remembering it, and the way that she does it, wanting to know, and then once she knows, she's kind of like, I'm glad I know. And she's like, oh, how wish you hadn't told me that. She's like, okay.
I have to accept that I killed them, because if I don't accept them, I can't move on with my life. And the way that they end it with them with the liars going into the sea and Cadence being on the shore as they say goodbye, it's like, it's not that's not going to be over for Cadence. Like, you know that she's not just going to brush it off and keep going on.
But she gets that closure of saying goodbye to the friend she killed and saying sorry. And she's going to continue on with her life with this regret. But she's also embraced it. She's like, okay, I killed them, and I can't change that. I can't fix that. She kind of has a breakdown when she first realises that, because of course she would. She killed her best friend and 2 dogs. She's not going to just accept it straight away. And so she has a bit of a breakdown, and she's angry, and she's sad, and she's freaking out. But then she kind of accepts that she can't change that. And it's not perfect. She's not... she's
not accepting... What am I trying to say here? I don't know what point I'm trying to make. I lost my point somewhere in there. My point got lost. What was my point? I had a point. I know I did. I just can't remember what it was. She's not perfect in the way that she deals with everything, but she is trying to deal with it. And I think it was a really great way to have the character not spend the rest of her life moping over her friends, but not just brush it off. Something she says at the end is she says, I endure. Endure. But she's like, I will keep going. I will push through, and it won't be easy. She acknowledges the fact that it's not going to be easy, and she knows that. She's not naive anymore. She's not the same naive girl that she was when she killed her best friends. Like, she's not like that anymore. She knows who she is. Well, she doesn't know who she is. I love some of my immediate thoughts that I had to write. I'm just going to read this out because it is so much better in verbatim than it is in however I would translate it, thinking about it. I just have to read this. Experiencing everything in the distorted view of Cadence was an experience, both good and bad. The writing style, no matter how much it annoyed the absolute fuck out of me, suited the character, fitted the emotion. I detested the writing style. I disliked reading it in that style, but I can appreciate it now that it is over. I am going to speak about GAT. Someone seriously doesn't want me making this video because my battery just died. I was talking about GAT, and I was just about to touch on why it was such a love-hate relationship, so let's do this. The reason it was such a love-hate relationship between myself and GAT was because he kept so much. He was so secretive and so, he liked Cadence, but he had a girlfriend. And he kissed Cadence, but then he's like, we can't be together. And I was like, just stop being an angsty teenager. Say what you want to say and live with the fucking consequences. Right? That was why he annoyed me so much. Just because he was so, freaking... That was what I hated. He just seemed like the character that I would like. And then as it went on, I was like, I really don't really like this character as much as I thought I did. And the characters that I didn't think I would like as much, I ended up really enjoying. What I wrote was that he was very vague. Up until about summer 17, when he started to kind of explain his actions a bit more, he was very vague, very secretive, and very annoying. But he was also really sweet and really considerate, and he really did like Cadence. And I was like, there were qualities I admired in him, and he was the outsider, so I completely understood where he was coming from there. But the thing is, he doesn't really explain that until summer 17. Or is it summer 15? Might be summer 15, and he's like, I just feel so, on the island it's different, but once we go back home, I don't live the privileged life that you do. And that's kind of, even though I'm privileged, I know what it's like to be the outsider, to feel different, to not feel like you belong. So, Johnny and Mirren. Johnny and Mirren are two characters that I didn't really know what to think of when I first met them. I was just kind of like, they're two more white privileged people who just don't understand how privileged they are. And I thought that I would really hate Johnny. I felt like he was going to be that character that does all the stupid decisions and that everyone has to clean up after. And Mirren, I thought she was going to be like a whiny bitch, to be completely honest with you. But as time went on towards the end of the summers, I don't really have a very strong opinion either way on Mirren. She was a good character. I just, as a person, I don't really know what I'd think of her if I knew her in real life. Johnny in real life I probably wouldn't like, but he really grew on me, and I ended up finding him really funny. He was just kind of like the friend that tried to make light of the situation, and considering the fact that I had a friend like that and I lost him, reading a bit more of an extreme version of him in a book was really nice, and I didn't really make that connection until pretty much just then. I originally thought that they were just side characters to what the epic love story of Gat and Cadence would have been, but I was so unbelievably wrong. This story, while it did have love, was not a love story. It was a story of 4 friends and a broken family. The ending with those two, her saying goodbye to Johnny and Murin, was a lot harder than her saying goodbye to Gat, in my opinion. And you can fight me on that, like, verbally, of course. I don't do physical fights. Verbatim from my notes, I thought they were side characters to an epic love story, but oh no, they weren't having none of that shit. I said that they were the characters that broke my heart the most, and I still think that's true. Johnny more than Murin, I think. Their relationship with Cadence, their final words, their farewells, touched me more than Gat. Rereading my notes on this, it just reminds me how much this book really moved me. Cadence, with her turmoil, with her issues, with her accident, with her breakdown that wasn't quite a breakdown, with the realization, with putting the pieces back together, with accepting what she'd done and what was going to come next. Like, everything about Cadence was so perfectly real. It was on point, and I loved it. I fell headfast into this story, and I don't regret it, and I hope I never will. So there. That is my little talk about We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I am finally finishing it after, like, days of my camera just not being my friend. Anyway, I hope you like this video, because no one wanted me to make this video, but I was like, you know what, I am making this video, F you. So, yeah, if you did like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, because I think I deserve it. After all the trouble that I went through to make this video, I think I deserve a small little thumbs up. So yeah, if you have anything else that you want to say in relation to We Were Liars, if there's anything that you want to discuss, anything you want to bring up, anything you think I missed, or anything you disagree with me on, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be notified when myself or Karina uploads a new video on this channel. We have not been uploading as regularly as we want. We've been a bit off track. We had like full-on like schedule sorted out, and that just hasn't happened, so I apologise for that. Our videos got a little bit out of mix, as Karina has uploaded before I have, because I've been so busy with essays and final and exams and stuff, and with a play that I'm doing, that I just haven't been able to sit down and film a video. So I'm sorry if that's pissed you off. It's kind of pissed me off a little bit, but whatever. So yeah, make sure that you check out Karina's video, which is down there. Make sure you check out my video, which is over there, and our collaboration video, which is down in the middle, right under the subscribe button. So yeah, goodbye!